Welcome. Woo.
Thank you, Mary. I think that's a really hard talk to follow, but we'll give it a shot. We don't have any presentation, so you get to look at our faces the whole time. But as Mary said, I'm Marc Gawith and Will Jamison. I'm going to let Will introduce himself, tell you a little bit about himself, and we'll get this kicked off, and hopefully we won't take too long and get back on track.
Sure. Will Jamison, CMO of a live streaming platform. We have a consumer application that allows you to broadcast from any device you want to where any device you want, whether it be an iPhone, VR device, OTT. Our platform solves it. And then we also have an enterprise application that allows you to own and operate your content on your own digital property to prevent you from hitting revenue caps that Facebook, YouTube, or other platforms might use. It's used by professional sports teams, big brands such as Attention, individual influencers, and media publishers.
And you guys have seen a lot of me already today, so I guess you're welcome. I am Marc Gawith. I am the Chief Evangelist Officer for .live, as well as a Business Development Manager for RightSide. RightSide is a domain name registry. We own 40 new domain names. So the lanyards that are hanging around your neck, there's a few of those, a few of our domain names on there, .live, .social, .video, .rocks, .ninja, etc. So our topic today is about owning your live video content specifically. We're here at Summit.live. This event started as Periscope Community Summit. Everyone, here basically has some sort of ties, I guess, to live video. And we want to talk to you today about branding your live video content, owning your live video content, and why that's so important. So, as I said, .live is one of our domain names that we own. It is our biggest selling domain name. We really feel that .live is made specifically for the live creator community. Never before has there been a domain name that is specific to what we here are doing. If you're on Periscope, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Stream, if you're on Busker, if you're on live.me, insert platform name here, you have a consistent call to action that you can use with .live. And I think that's what's so important about .live and having a branded content strategy is, let's take for example, we all know the name Blab, right? It is sometimes a thorn in our side, and it's something that we miss, maybe we loathe a little bit, but Blab went away, Meerkat went away, Vine went away. If you built your entire community on one of those platforms and you didn't have a way to take them with you, now all of a sudden you're stuck trying to, hey, I'm on this platform, come find me, come find me. If you had a .live domain name that you simply changed where that domain name pointed to, all of a sudden you take that community with you. The story that Brian Fanzo tells sticks out in my mind a lot. He had a huge community on Meerkat, like 70,000 people or something. All of a sudden, Meerkat's gone one day, and he doesn't know how to get access to all of those people, where to find them. If he had brianfanzo.live or isocialfans.live at that point, he simply could have redirected it to Periscope, and everyone, he wouldn't miss a beat, right? So that's why I think having your own .live or .com or .social, whatever. I mean, obviously I'm here to pitch .live. It's our product, so I would be remiss to only talk about that. But I think that's so important. They're large, so a lot of people come to me and say, well, are these things actually in use? Like, are people using these? There's 80,000 .live domain names registered, so I would say yes. There are big brands using these domains. There's Stream.live. CBS is using CBS.live to redirect to their webpage that talks about their live streaming service where you can watch their shows on the go. StubHub.live, talking about all the live events that are happening. These are just three examples. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Large creators, Maroon 5 has Maroon5.live. Their frontman, Adam Levine, has his own .live. So there's a lot of artists now that are starting to use these to redirect to the page basically where all of their events that are upcoming, their live performances. So it makes sense. And then lastly, domain names are an investment vehicle as well. You know, you've heard of all these stories about people that bought a .com.
Live streaming is everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
It is. That was true.
Mic drop. No, so people have bought, historically have purchased domain names and made millions of dollars off of them. You know, a domain name like candy.com sold for $13 million several years ago. So the person that bought it paid like $100. That's a great return on investment. I mean, I don't know any of us in here that wouldn't pay $100 for something and turn around 10 years later and sell it for $13 million. I know I would. So what we're seeing with .live and the domain names that we own are, there's a great opportunity to get on the ground floor as an investment vehicle with .live and .social and others to buy them, basically develop them out, sit on them, basically have them for a couple years, turn around and sell them. We really feel that .live and all of these new domain extensions are going to close the gap with .com in 3 years. So, you know, right now I own Marc.live. There are many other people out there with the same spelling. Marc Jacobs. I don't know if if anyone's familiar with him, but maybe he wants to own Marc.live. I had the foresight to buy it. I sell it to him for an arbitrary price that I come up with. And all of a sudden, I bought a domain name for $100, and I used it, but I sell it. So, great investment vehicle, which actually leads me to kind of turn it over to Will. Stream rebranded from STRE.am. I think a couple of you heard that yesterday, to Stream.live. And I'm going to let him tell you why they did that, and a little bit more about what it's done for them.
Sure. So when we initially started the company, we wanted a cool domain hack, mainly because it was going to give us good branding, and what we thought was going to be good SEO, because Google at the time was talking about how they were going to leverage domain hacks to kind of boost you in the rankings. Turned out none of that was true. Everyone thought our company was either Stree.am, or people would even spell it Stree.am.com, which didn't lead to anywhere. We also were given, Google thought we were an Armenian company, and our majority market is the US. So we were getting inbound enterprise requests from these companies that didn't even know who we were, and it was the worst. No one could discover us in the App Store, no one could find us anywhere, and it took forever to actually get it to be searchable. And then we met Marc, who decided to enlighten us about all the .live domains and what it could actually do for our brand. Number one, there was going to be no clarity or no problem understanding that we were going to be called Stream, or if someone thought we were Stream.live, that's way better than Stree.am, because it talked about streaming live video. So there was a lot of brand clarity there. It was an upfront investment, 5 figures to do it, but we've seen so much return in it, and it's opened up additional revenue opportunities for us. Is through our community app, we can resell .live domains to drive in additional revenue. We can offer it to our enterprise customers who leverage it for branded content, hosting live TEDx talks to media companies, leveraging our platform to monetize their video without revenue caps. We're powering some big events going forward that using the .live call to action to redirect to their own hosted website. And it's just paid off dividends for us, and it's been great.
Yeah, so, Will mentioned there that, embedding, using Stream to embed, the Stream feed into a .live domain name. So I actually just did this recently. There is an annual domain conference in Las Vegas called NamesCon. We actually just sold the biggest domain sale that we've had, video.games, sold at NamesCon for almost $200,000. So, great sale, obviously, for our company. But I reached out to the organizers of the event to ask them if they were doing any live streaming, and they said no. So I basically said, hey, we're going to build out namescon.live. We're going to use Stream, embed the Stream on the site, and I went and basically did it myself. But so many people came up to me and said, this is so great, you're doing this. I'm glad that it's on a website where I can actually go to. Obviously, this is the website industry, so we all get domain names. So it was a little easier sell, but it was overwhelmingly positive, the number of people that came up to me and said, I love the fact that you're embedding this Stream into a website. I don't have to go to a social media platform to find it, to wade through all of the political stuff that's being posted on the social media channels right now. So, you know, it was a great asset to have and a great kind of use case and example for us to kind of point to for future events and just highlighting what .live and stream can do for you.
And we've seen awesome success with creators leveraging it as well, due to, as Mark mentioned earlier, tons of social platforms dying, and these creators investing so much time building their audience on their own, on a social network that ultimately may go away. And you lose your entire following. People are huge on Periscope now, but what happens if it becomes Twitter.live? Where do their following go? Do they have to rebuild on Twitter? It's difficult for them. And the frustration is apparent within the creator community, and you're seeing more and more of them actually purchase .live domains. They need a platform technology to be able to plug into their own website to power their brand, as opposed to static content. The video content for offline plus live builds engaging around their own property, and they can funnel the traffic directly to there to open up revenue ops.
And Will, do you want to touch on some of the big brands? Just give some examples of brands that are actually using your platform to embed a live stream into a website. You know, maybe it might just kind of highlight just, you know, the companies that are using that.
So we work with currently everyone from media publishers in the Midwest that have like millions of uniques on their website a month. It's called Schurz Communications, has 20 newspapers. We work with the Denver Broncos, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Attention, a few teams in the USL, a couple ATP and WTA tournaments that really care about brand integrity, and they want to be able to use our platform to funnel traffic down an avenue that they want, whether it's a live event to drive ticket sales to the next year's tournament, or to just have, they don't want their content to be surrounded by cat videos. One of our customers is the Northern Virginia Board of Trade, and they have very professional content, typically around legal and organizational, but they don't want their content surrounded by Facebook, cats, and anything that can be determined there. We work with companies that want to have private views for webinars. Deloitte uses us sometimes for internal communications for employee training, where they want an easy to go live video tool, but they don't want the world to see what they're working on, or all hands meetings. The limitations of live video in a private setting are unlimited, and that's kind of where we've seen our platform used for private and monetization opportunities.
So, perfect segue. You set that up perfectly, Will. So, monetization, you know, that yesterday we talked a little bit about it. It seems to be a huge buzzword. Everyone's trying to figure out how do you monetize your live stream. I don't think really anyone's figured out how to sell a product. I think Busker is pretty close to doing that. But like, if you have your content embedded in a site that you own and operate, all of a sudden you have full control to bring on ad partnerships, leverage sites like Commission Junction to sign up for you know, affiliate ads. So you have so much more capabilities with the monetization. And actually, Will just wrote a piece on LinkedIn that basically highlights the lack of monetization, or the amount of revenue share that you have to share with Facebook. So do you want to just share those statistics?
Sure. So if you're monetizing your content using, Facebook just announced today that they're going to allow you to monetize your VOD content. But previously, a lot of news publishers were using YouTube. Number one, because it was free and it was easy and they could get up and running. But what a lot of them didn't realize is the revenue caps that exist within there. You have a 55% revenue that you can maximize on there, and you're also being dependent on Google AdSense, which sometimes if you're an individual creator, you don't have the additional resources to manage an ad network or do mediation to optimize revenue. But if you are a media publisher and you're using YouTube for your OVP, essentially, you're losing out on a lot of potential revenue, as opposed to using Google DFP or other ad mediation tools to get up to 80% revenue retention. And at scale, it's the difference in millions of dollars. And I think publishers are initially going to jump to Facebook for an OVP standpoint because it's easy, they're familiar with it, and it's free. But down the road, they're really going to suffer because they're missing out on opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't have.
So I'm not standing up here on stage, and neither is Will, to tell you to abandon all social media platforms. Like,
you should always continue to use them.
That would be silly, right? I mean, there's so many eyeballs going to Facebook and Twitter and, you know, all these other platforms. But what you can do is use that as a teaser to drive people back to your owned and operated property. So leverage those social media platforms to drive people back to your .live, your .social, your .com, whatever it is, and embed that stream on your site to give you more monetization options. So, you know, ultimately, I think the one thing that I want to leave everyone with that is, so impactful for me that I've seen is use a consistent call to action to ensure that your community knows where you're at. Don't rely on the platforms to consistently be around. There's so much innovation happening in this space. I can't imagine that every live video platform that exists right now is going to exist even in a year from now. These things are going to get snapped up by other, larger platforms. They're going to go away. They're going to lose funding. They're going to pivot. Don't build your house on sand, right? Build it on rock, to use that old, whatever cliche. So that would be my one thing that I want to leave you with is, leverage these new domain extensions. There's so much availability that you can choose from that hasn't been historically available in .com because it's 30 years old. These domain names are less than 2 years old. There's only 80,000 .lives registered, and there's an unlimited combination of .lives available. So come check us out at our booth for sure. We're offering you to get a .live and a website set up, and when you do that, you're entered in to win a chance to win the 65-inch TV that's hanging in our booth. So definitely stop by. Stream is also there. I'd love to talk to you about how to leverage their platform, talk to you a little bit about their consumer app and how that ties into their enterprise. So, Will, is there anything you want to leave everyone with?
I'm good. If you want to power your digital content on your website, that's what we do. Or monetize consumer streams.
Perfect. Any questions? I know we're trying to kind of catch back up here, and we've got another amazing panel coming up, but any questions or anything for us? So the question is, how much is an average domain name? Provided it's not one of the most common kind of 100 first names, it would be $15 a year. So very, very affordable.
But will.live is sadly out of my price range.
I bought Marc.live for $100. So
Someone already owns it, and he's not selling it for a nice price.
So anything else?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, definitely come by and see us. My colleague, Connor, is there right now. He can take care of you. Will and I will be back at the booth shortly. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.